Today we are having a look at day planners, and in particular the daily page. I thought it could be interesting for you to have a look at different options that are out there, and we're doing a little walk back through time of my planner use. All of the, we're going to look at 3 that are inserts you can purchase, and I purchased them, my very first one way back in 1990, and that one is actually still available. And then 2 others that were added later on that I bought, and the company still sells them. This isn't an ad for the company, although I really do like their day planners, because actually I'm also going to show you 2 styles of pages that I've made myself, and you could actually do that yourself if you were wanting to. But I thought I would share what these day planner daily pages look like in action. So I'll show you a blank page and then how I've used the pages in my life. So let's go back in time and have a look at what is the original day planner that, so the company that made these day planners, and I really do like them. I know there's other companies that people love out there, but the Franklin, I think they were called Franklin Quest way back in the 90s. They went through a phase, Franklin, that's the name that stuck. They've had other incarnations along the way. And the very first one that I've got open is the original one they created, and this is a 2-page per day. It's the one, this is actually still within my first year of using one. I got it, my very first one, in October of 1990, and this is 1991. I found a page. I did nothing on May 14th, apparently, in 1991. Not a thing. Completely clear. But this is what they look like and how this company created them. So they, your schedule, you can put things in there. You've got your prioritized list, and they included a spot on here for daily expenses. So that's what it looks like blank. And we're going to jump forward in time to November 26th. And what was I doing on November 26th? Well, if you can read my writing, and it hasn't actually improved a whole lot, but this was my use of it within my very first year. In fact, just slightly past a year, because I started in November of 90, and this was November of 91. So I was really still learning how to use this. I was at school. I was in university, so like vocal choral tech. I was learning choral conducting in my music degree. Just the different things I was doing. I was practicing trumpet here between 2 and 3. I think I was teaching Andrew. I think he was a trumpet student. And I wasn't even using the suggestion that Franklin has of the ABC prioritizing. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe the H was homework. I have no idea what I was meaning. X meant I didn't do it. Check mark meant I did do it. And the little arrow did and still means to do it at a later time. So this is how it looked. And I used a little bit on the other page here. Not a lot. Sometimes it was busy over here and other times it wasn't. But that's how it looked. That's how I used it. And as I went through my day, I filled in what I was doing. Sometimes if I already knew what was in my day, I would put it in, and then I would know it's there. So I didn't double book myself. So we're going to jump forward in time to the year 1996. So I'll just take a second, get that set up. Okay, here we are in 1996. Flash forward. And apparently I didn't do anything on September 21st, 1996, because this page has nothing on it. It was a Saturday. Franklin started coming out with different types of inserts. And this is their Monticello insert. And I thought it looked really nice. And I decided to, rather than the original, which I bought for a couple of years, I switched over and I purchased this one, which is their Monticello with the blue. I liked that. the rest of it's pretty much the same, although they started introducing quotes, and they had daily quotes on every day. So really, really quite similar. This one starts 7 and goes to 8 p.m. But let's have a look at how I was using it on a day. I actually did make note of what I was doing. Oops, stuck together. October 1st, 1996. Planning. I wrote it in. Do my planning. Make some phone calls. And here we have, I was frequently would put plan as my very first task. I was still getting used to, well, hopefully by 96, this was 5 years after I'd been using it, I was kind of used to planning, but I like to put it in there. I like going, check, I did it. And I was using the, A1 was organize the desk and files. I was now working, I was running a band, I was full-time. The band was actually a volunteer band. I was the only one full-time, and I was responsible for ensuring that everything from equipment to library, which I did that day, to it's on here, to the conducted the rehearsals and did all the administration, all that sort of thing. So everyone else was volunteer. I had support from the band with some things, so sometimes I had people coming in and helping me, for instance, doing library organization. But because it was such a busy job, this planner was crucial to my success as the bandmaster and not letting things go amiss. It wasn't perfect. Things periodically would go amiss, and I would adjust to accommodate around that. So, but this was my daily page. I was starting into using my other side here, so if I needed something, I would write it over here. Number 1, let's see what was that one corresponding to, 1111. Call. All of my phone calls, I started putting them on the second page rather than making my list even longer. I would group the calls, and sometimes what I would do is I would just sit, I'd plan that, okay, at 10 o'clock, well, maybe not today, on this day, but that I would, rather than randomly making calls, I would schedule it for, say, a certain time that I would sit down and I would just make all of my phone calls, and then I would finish that and go on to my other tasks. So I was really developing my use of this book, and I did find that while this isn't too bad a day, there's a few arrows of things being moved forward. I had many days where the to-do list was very long, and it just moved over from day to day to day because, well, everything's important, right? And even though I've got the A, B, C, and numbers, you can see, B tasks and A tasks. I advanced my system as I was there longer, so that I didn't have so many tasks keep moving from one day to the next, to the next, to the next, because that's a bit disheartening when that happens. So anyway, that's the Monticello, and that was my use of it one day. I made chili, I did laundry, I did work, and that was a day in the life of Deanna in 1996. All right, we're going to jump forward. I'm going to change it up here. Give me a second. Okay, we're back. 1997, only 1 year later, and I decided to start making my own for a while. I had easy access to a printer, and I was experimenting and learning. I actually did these in the program Excel, and I did that for quite a number of years using that program. I don't use it anymore. I will talk about that in another video. There are some programs that are more user-friendly, but it worked well for me for the years that I was doing it. And at this point in time, I could start customizing. So where I was always writing in, play my trumpet and plan and whatever else I might have tried to do daily, with doing your own, you can customize your to-do list and put them in there automatically so that they're right there, they're ready to go. And that's one of the things. I'm one who like to create it once and hit the print button and just let it just print out. And note how neat and tidy this is. My writing, as we've seen, isn't the nicest and tidiest. But this was my Plan is still at the top of the list, and I was trying to do meditating, keep track of my expenses, swimming, stretching, trumpet warm-up and play. And because I was running a musical ensemble, I had score study that I tried to do pretty much daily so that I would be ready for rehearsals, and ear trainings to strengthen my ear. And with my own design, one thing I wanted was a longer day because sometimes I worked into the evenings. So on my page 2, I extended all the way up to midnight, but I extended my day over here so I could keep track of what I was doing. And this was one of my earliest designs, and I used this for quite a long time. Later adjusting it though for the way my life changed and or to make the planning a lot easier. So we're going to jump to a page with it in use. And on this day, the 15th of September, and I did have to write in the date. That was one thing with Excel. It wouldn't auto-populate the date and stuff. So I would write those in. But I did plan. Yay! I didn't meditate, but I did go for a walk. Didn't stretch. I played my trumpet, and I was keeping track, so I played for 15 minutes. And then just all the rest of the things that I had in my day. We're going to jump forward in time and back into a Franklin planner, but a different style again. I wanted to show you, I switched it up after I stopped making them for a while, and when I got back to purchasing, I went back to my company, Franklin. Not my company, but the company I purchased from. So, back in a second. We're back! And so we have jumped forward in time to 2014, and I found a blank page, and this is at this point in time they joined forces with with Covey, Stephen Covey, author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, a really good book if you haven't read it. And this is the 7 Habits style of insert, and it was the one I went with. The colors are nice. And one thing I liked about this was the color division with these bands here dividing up the to-do list. That worked really well for me. And they also brought in the quotes from the 7 Habits book. And it was really, they started including information to help you be more productive, and the information that came with this particular insert had to do with the 7 habits. And so, I don't know whether they went monthly or one day per week or what, but anyway, down at the bottom here, habit 1, be proactive. So, that's what they've done. So, that's it blank. Flip this over to a day when I did actually make some notes. This is Saturday, June 7th, 2014. And I've got things divided up. So the way I was dividing these up were my personal things up here, things that where I was volunteering, and then house things or tasks. I use the word things, but house tasks, and other kinds of tasks. And they're at the plan, 6 a.m. in the morning. I meditated, and then I started working on whatever it was I was working on in my day here, and the different things that I was doing. And anyway, so this is the 7 habits one. One more to look at. And we flash forward to the current year, and we're back into my own design, and my designs have evolved, and there's an awful lot more customization on this page. I've been using Scribus for a while, and just trying to let them come up with a design that really speaks to me. And the year before this one, every month I was adding or changing and doing stuff, and this year has been pretty consistent with this design. I've got what are really my A category items up here. I have a morning routine that relates to over here. Check my calendars and my month and week targets. So that's for this one. I try to meditate every day, try to play trumpet every day, and those are truly my A items, but they're the personal ones. This box here is for the rest of my time, what are the A items. And if it goes in this box, the idea is it has to get done. And that's it. Otherwise, I put it down below. Down below is a little more optional, but if I put it up here, like, don't put it up there if you're not going to do it type thing is how I've approached it. Because this is an evolving process, how to be effective in your day, in my day. And so that's what that's about. I've given myself 5 to 10 because I like to catch everything there. Down the bottom, I keep track of what I eat and that I do it. I like to, check off. I'm trying to work on how much water I drink and if I take any supplements. I've added my own quotes, walk my talk, and then consistency over time. And I can change that up. And then a great quote is, it's amazing what you can do over the long period if you just make sure you take care of today. On the second page, notes for today, my ideas for my meals, which is down here, put my ideas up here, and then what I actually ate. So that's what it looks like blank. And basically it still looks the same for the design. I changed up one element, and we're actually going to come straight to today. And this is today. I changed up the kind of tree because we're in November and I thought I'd go with some evergreens. I did my morning routine, MR. Check it out, my YouTube challenge. Do video number 5. That's why it's in this box. And my day finder is in here. And this is a very old one, so if you saw my earlier video where I had trouble getting the day finder in the book, this one's well used because this one goes back. It might actually be like one of my original ones because it still has Franklin Quest on it. But that's what where we're at. I guess I can update this now because I'm working on the YouTube video, and I know we're past 2:30, so I'm working on that one. That's where I am. I hope this has been interesting, and you can see the various options out there for maybe some ideas here that might help you with your planning, how you might lay out a page if you're designing your own. Or if you don't even want to take, maybe that's forget that news. I'm not making my own. That's fine, because there are some really great companies out there. The ones I showed you now today are from the Franklin Planner Company. And at the moment, as of the recording of this video, I am not an affiliate. I am going to look into it. But anyway, just wanted to say that right now. They're not paying me for this at all. I used their day planners for years and years and years, and I still think they're great. If I wasn't designing my own, I'd be buying theirs. I hope this has been helpful. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video.